All right. Hello again. Welcome to the open house of Interaction Semesters here in EKA. Again, I'm Tanel.
I'm Sigmund.
And we also have in the faculty with us Quinn, but Quinn is with our students today in Mexico, so she won't be joining us. But we are here live from Tallinn, Estonia, and I'm gonna tell you about our program.
All right. In the meantime, I'm gonna walk around and Tanel will tell you why.
Yes. I hope you can hear us well. All right. Okay, I see nothing. Perfect. So here is what to expect from today. First, we are gonna tell you about our program, give a quick introduction, tell us about our mindset, what we're doing, how we are doing it, and maybe most importantly, why we are doing those things that we're doing here. Then our students, Carol and Hanna will join us as well, and they're gonna give you their perspective. And eventually, you're gonna also be meeting one of our alumni, Janeli. And in the very end, we will have a Q&A session, so you can ask any kind of questions you might have about the program, admissions, and anything else like. All right. Let's start then maybe with the what. So what is actually the interaction design program in the Estonian Academy of Arts? Let's start by zooming out. So this is where Estonia is located in Europe. And I know that we have a lot of international prospective students here with us today. I saw people from Estonia, Germany, Spain, USA, Turkey, Iran, India, Bangladesh, Indonesia, Nigeria, Colombia, and many, many other countries who are here with us today. But we are then located here in Estonia, in Northern Europe. Our program was established here in the year 2016. So it's almost 10 years old now. And we are in Estonia, which is a very small and very kind of young country in a way. And this being small and young has helped us to be very agile, very progressive. And Estonia has been also called as the kind of first digital nation in the world, or the Silicon Valley of Europe. Here we have the most startups per capita. Internet has been declared a basic human right. We have been voting online for 20 years now. So Skype was born here, Bolt is from here, Pipedrive, Wise, and many other global startups, which is maybe not a bad thing for a small country of just 1.4 million people. We are also today, unfortunately, in a quite fragile environment geopolitically, but we are actually feeling quite safe here in Estonia because we have, let's say, all the reasons for that. Our campus is located in Tallinn, the capital. We are very much in the city center, and Tallinn really is this kind of a city which is a mixture of old and new. We have the UNESCO protected old town, which you see here on the slide as well. But at the same time, we are kind of like I told you in the very cutting edge of innovation. So it's a very compact environment, which means that our school, EKA, is very well connected with the industry, with the design agencies, other universities, the public sector, and so on. And that is really, really important if you're doing design or if you're teaching design. Because design is not something that happens in isolation ever. You know, design is always connected with an internal theme of some kind. It is always connected with an external stakeholder and it's bringing value to someone else. And this is exactly how we study design here as well. Let's talk a bit about our school. So Estonian Academy of Arts, or EKA, as we say its name, recently celebrated its 111th birthday. So it's quite an old school in the world of design and arts. And design education in the product design department started in 1960. So we have quite some history teaching design here. it's a small school. We have 1,100 students, and the teacher to student ratio is 1 to 3, which means that for every 3 students, there's 1 teacher. It means that we have this very individualized study and this very personal mentorship. So basically, if you join us, you will get a lot of personal individual coaching and teaching. Also, ECA can boast with 30 different curricula from the faculties of design, art, architecture, and art culture. So you will have a lot of chances to actually collaborate and work with different creative specialists here. And also we have a very international school. We have more than 200 international partner universities across the globe. We are part of different networks of universities. And as I told you, our students are currently in Mexico. And last year we were in Japan, and the year before that in Chile. So we are actually going around the world quite a lot and learning about design and enriching our worldview with those trips. By the way, Sigmund, if you're ready, then just open your camera, then I can see that you're ready and you can show us around.
I don't know if you can see.
Yes, I can see you now. Perfect.
Can you see me, or can you see the...
I can see you well.
Okay. I don't know what I'm seeing on this one. So if you're seeing me, let me know. If you're seeing outside, let me know.
Yes, we can see the camera, people walking around in the lobby.
Okay, perfect. So just wanted to let you know that since I cannot go outside, it's freezing out. So this is the entrance to ECA. And luckily, this evening is the design showcase, which they do here at ECA every year, where we present all the collaborations and all the design works that students have done throughout this semester and the year. And yeah, this is the hallway, as you can see, and people are taking pictures. But we're gonna try to walk around. Sorry. And then, yeah, here you'll have your cafeteria and waiting for the showcase to start. And yeah, back to you, Tanel. I'll show around as we go.
Yes, perfect, Sigmund. Thank you. By the way, on Zoom, you can click on the meeting tab, then you will see Sigmund's video a bit bigger once he walks around and shows you our faculty, our school. Let's talk about interaction design now. We have lots of different design disciplines that have been emerging in the past 30, 40 years. We have interaction design, user experience design, service design, digital product design, strategic design, and so on and so on. So it's quite hard to define from the outside, and even more and more from the inside, where does one of those disciplines end and where does the next one start? Interaction design was coined, the term was coined by Bill Moggridge in the early 1990s. And in the very beginning, it was all about designing useful, usable, and desirable user interfaces. And for the first 20 years or so, this was the core of interaction design. It was meant for designing good, usable technology. And at the very center of interaction design has been this approach, which is called human-centered design. So it's a design approach that focuses on human beings, on human needs, human values. And as we explore those human needs, values, then we discover hidden problems, and once we discover those problems, then we can define them as opportunities. And once we have those opportunities, then we can start coming up with innovative new solutions and ideas to those problems. But there is a very big but. By designing only for human needs, designers have been for many decades creating more problems to the world than actually solving them. Because people want more and more and more, they want everything faster. And all of that comes to us with a very big price tag, with the price to the environment, to our communities, and so on. We can take an example of Airbnb. For many years, Airbnb was hailed as the first design-led company in the world. And now it's actually more and more known as a company that is causing massive problems to communities. So really, we have been quite harmful with our discipline so far. So we are really asked to shift our focus. So from humans, we have to head to humanity and perhaps humanity-centered design. Because as it turns out, the same analytical and very creative approach that we have been using to design cool technology can also be used to design effective products, services, environments, and systems that are actually making good to the world. And these designers, we have that obligation to use our skills for something bigger. So at the very core of studies, you will be learning this human and humanity-centered design. And as you master that, you can become an interaction designer, interface designer, service designer, strategic designer, user experience designer, design manager, innovation manager, and so on and so on. But you will have this thinking, this mindset that will enable you to choose whatever path it is that you want to choose, and whatever the field or approach of design is more to your heart. And you will start to see how your work and your contribution will help in creating a future, a better future. So we are kind of taking little pieces of the world today, we are dismantling them, and we are putting them back together in a better way. So our program is very much kind of mindset focused. It's very kind of much improvement focused, very much ethics focused, but we still call it interaction design. Why so? Well, because we still focus on that aspect of design, the human interaction aspect. Essentially, we are dealing with how humans interact with the world around us. And we are designing for that in different levels, let's say 5 levels. And the very first level is within us. It is the basically how we're designing for experiences, interactions within ourselves. We can design how we as humans understand and connect with ourselves. And as an example, I can show you a graduate or degree project, as we call them, from Pauline last year. And she designed a toolkit, which is meant to help people with ADHD to become more proactive in how they're working. So basically empowering those, a lot of creatives are struggling with ADHD, but they're also struggling with the fact that it's very hard to them to actually, initiate new tasks. So Pauline did a very long research and built this tool or tool set that helps those creatives to start their focus and stay focused. Then we have interactions between ourselves and other human beings. Using maybe some kind of technology, which might be digital, might not be digital. And as an example, Janeli, who you will be meeting as well very soon, for her degree project explored the theme of loneliness in young people. And her research led her to Great Ripple, which is a behaviorally guided micro-intervention app that lowers the emotional and cognitive friction of social interactions. So you see, it's an application designed, but to help people interact with each other. We also can design the interactions between different products and different services that people are using. And again, an example for that, Ryan, for his degree project, he collaborated with the biggest bank, one of the biggest banks in our region of the world, SEB. And he was tasked by the partner to identify the needs of elderly people who are visiting bank branches all across the country, and then somehow propose a solution to make their lives a bit better, because bank branches are kind of dying out and they're being closed, and the bank was very curious to see how that affects the people who are still visiting them. And as a result of this long process, he built an AI-powered training tool for the bank employees that teaches them to become better advisors and teachers to the elderly. So he designed for the elderly, but actually built a tool for the bank itself to become better at what they're doing in advising the target group. And we can actually reach we can actually expand our reach as interaction designers even further. We can go into complicated systems, which consist of many products and different services, and try to figure out how humans interact with such systems, how the services inside of systems interact with each other, and so on and so on. So as an example, Mariana, for her degree project, she researched why people don't make more sustainable decisions at home, and why don't people use green energy. And she built a concept for an application that teaches and nudges people and just makes this green energy transition more human and accessible. Again, she applied a lot of behavioral psychology there, a lot of design thinking, just to make this very complicated theme and system of energy and energy consumption a bit more human. And finally, we can zoom out even further, and we can actually have design for the interactions humans have with the non-man-made environment around us, or also maybe with the man-made environments. For her degree project, Jay last year explored how we as humans can build more empathy with the non-living nature and things such as stones, literally. And she built an entire speculative framework with many supporting tools that helps to cultivate belonging with the non-living. Very interesting projects. And if you're interested in this project or any of the other ones that I mentioned to you, then you can check out our website. They are all there, and you can go and see what the students were actually working on, IxD.MA. So this is our approach, and this is how we define interaction design today. So it's not just about technology, it's actually much wider. But of course, technology can be a very big part of it. Sigmund, are you somewhere ready?
I am just.
Oh, nice.
Internet connection was a bit wonky, but we're fine. So if you can hear me, if you can see me, wanted to show you something that Eka recently had added, which are meeting boxes, and where you have an urgent meeting that you need to do with your peers, or if there's something, if you need a small space, you can book it and actually quickly get the room and then actually do the needed work that you need to do. But I wanted to show you as well, Eka is an art and design school, design university, and
oh no, you're cutting up a bit, Sigmund.
now, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear now.
Yeah, so I wanted to show you a bit on the prototyping lab, which you'll be able to be using to use it in different courses, mainly in tangible design, which will be in the second semester of the first year. And yeah, I'm looking forward to showing you a lot more as well as we go. Back to you, Tanel.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So let's talk about the how. How do we then teach design? Or how do we approach teaching design? First, I have to admit that we are really, really bad at teaching you software and teaching you computer programs. And so many people still think that if they learn to use some kind of programs, then they are designers. And so much of that discussion around designers is about tools and the production skill. So there is some truth to it. It is expected from a designer to be able to produce very good quality content, to master our crafts in every sense. And you will have plenty of opportunity to train that in our program as well. But at the same time, technology is really advancing so fast. So today, when we are talking about tools, we really have to talk about AI as well. So will you be learning about AI? Yes, absolutely. You will be using it, a lot of it. But that's also not what the program is about. Technology is advancing so fast that we cannot really have a lecture on AI, because by the time I will finish the lecture, a new tool has probably popped up, which is much better than the previous one. So is it about design methods then? By the way, this is my favorite slide ever. We are getting a bit closer now. We do learn about methods, how to use methods, how to choose methods, and eventually also how to create design methods. But still, these are not the core of our program because they are still just tools. So they're necessary tools, but we have to have we have to be mindful of how, when, and why to use those tools. We have to know this, and eventually we will have to develop an intuition. We have to feel this. So basically what we need to do is that we have to start thinking like designers. This means developing your thinking, your worldview, your approach to problem solving, so that you know what can you do with design. So this actually becomes before those skills, before tools, before methods. You know, anyone can take an online course and learn those tools. I mean, Google gives them out for free. But you are coming to an university, to an academia, which means that here you will learn the craft and the mindset of being a designer. And this is not something you can actually learn from an online course. And together with that, you will also develop a confidence that you can actually make a difference in the world. You can build a future, and you know how to do it. You know, there's this old Steve Jobs quote that, you know, look at the room around you, and everything in this room is designed by someone, a person. And this someone wasn't necessarily much smarter than you are. Probably you are smarter than they are. I also told you before that as designers, what we are mostly doing is that we are building some kind of value to the others, right? And how do we bring value is that we have a what, like some kind of thing, service, object, and then we have a how, basically how this object works, what it does. And then once you combine them, you will have value. So this is basically basic design theory, let's say. A lot of time, what is missing in our world is the what. So it means that, you know, we want to do something, we want to start selling new things online, and we're missing the what. So we are missing that kind of product or service that allows us to do that. And this is often what designers and engineers do. They create a design that operates from some kind of principle, and it brings new value. Also, quite oftentimes, you have a tool of some kind, and you have to just figure out how to put it to work. You know, you can take like a website template, and you have to figure it, play it around with it, and eventually it will bring some kind of value. Just figure it out. How does it work? But what happens if we know that we need to have some kind of value, we need to have some kind of outcome, but we don't know how we can achieve it, and we don't even know what are the tools that we can use to achieve it. So this is actually where the designers operate in. This is where this kind of designer thinkers, where design thinkers are working in that kind of space. This actually means that we have to use these creative problem-solving methods. We have to map the possible different scenarios, everything that can happen, and then figure out our way inside that. And this is actually what we are doing and learning here in the program for 2 years. So basically, how to deal with this massive amount of confusion and bring and build something very useful and needed out of that confusion. So how do we do that? How do we teach you that? So there are many different ways how we can do design education. And, you know, if you're looking at different schools around the world, you know, considering different options, different possibilities, then they all have their own specific approach, you know. They can be a bit more academic, be focused on academic research, publishing papers. They can be more practical, teaching like real life skills, tools, mindsets. They can be more vocational, meaning that they actually teach you programs, apps, or they can be more speculative, kind of imagining what might be, how things could be. It's more kind of imaginative, more creative. We have chosen to be practical and speculative, which means that first and foremost, we are practical. Many of our projects we are working with are dealing with real-life problems, real-life briefs. We're working a lot with industry partners from outside the academia. So we will actually get very hands-on working in the real-world experience in our program. But at the same time, you know, once you graduate, you can do a lot of that already. So we want to build on top of it and actually make it a bit more speculative as well. Which means that with many of our projects, we are, you know, kind of trying to create the future, and we are kind of speculating what it might actually look like. Also, the role of designers has shifted recently. We are not so much anymore kind of problem solvers and just, makers of things, but also it is expected from us to actually imagine what kind of things might be in the world and how the world might look like in the future. So you will need that speculative skill in your toolbox. We are always learning by doing here. So you cannot learn to swim from reading books, right? Also, at the very same way, you cannot learn how to become a designer by reading books. It helps a lot. But you need to really develop your mindset. You need to develop your confidence. And you can develop those only by doing and experiencing, learning, failing, and so on, learning from that again. So you will have very few academic lectures in ECA. You will have some, and you can choose to have more. We have lots of opportunities for that here. But mostly in our program, we learn by experience. And it has been proven over and over again, and also in different theories, that this is the most effective way to learn. So all of our studies are studio-based, which means that in each project we do, we set some kind of goals, we do the project, we share honest feedback and reflect how we have been doing. And this is kind of the core loop of our studying. So this is the kind of backbone of our studies. And we go through this loop over and over and over again. And it is your individual responsibility then to operate and do those things and learn. What we are providing you is the kind of safe space. It means that you can do the things, you can do the projects, you can learn, and it's totally okay to fail. Otherwise you couldn't experiment, right? And we are kind of giving you this option, and we are facilitating this experience for you. And if you are using this option, is up to you. So it is your individual responsibility to actually grow in our program. And as I told you, it is very okay to fail. Because these are the situations from which we actually learn the most, right? So in a way, we actually force you to get out of your safe zone here and experiment, try new things, try new approaches. Our student group is very diverse. We make sure to have students from very different, very diverse backgrounds, culturally, professionally. Many of you have questions that I have a background in blah, blah, blah. Am I fit for the program? And I would say 99.9% sure that yes, you are a good fit to our program. I wouldn't even imagine any complication that wouldn't be a fit for us, really. Come to think of it. And this is by design, because we are building this environment where very different mindsets meet. And this actually builds a space for this, or opportunity for these new creative ideas to emerge from all of that mixture of different various ideas. So this also creates clashes. So you will actually learn to manage conflicts, how to work together with very, very different people. And this will actually very effectively prepare you for the future. And, design is never done in isolation, and even nowadays not solo. So you will actually learn a lot about teamwork and working in very complex environments as well in your team. And as I mentioned, we will be working very closely together with the industry. So real life people, real life briefs. And each semester, you will be working with 1 or 2 industry partners. In quite a short time, so the 9 years, we have been working with quite a beautiful list of different companies. And we have been also learning from those projects. We have developed our approach, our curriculum, and we have really learned to learn. And a lot has already changed in those 9 years. IxD.MA has been around. During your studies, you will be mentored by 30 mentors. We don't call them teachers. And why so? Is that only about 5 of those are from the ECA faculty. You're meeting me and Sigmund today. We have a few more people. But all the others are actually real life practitioners. They are real life experts from agencies, other international universities, in-house designers from startups, enterprises, and so on and so on. And they are really those kind of people who are really passionate about your topic, and they really want to teach it to the others. So you can come here and actually learn from those passionate experts of their subjects. And make no mistake, studying at IxD.MA is hard. It is difficult. It is time consuming. It requires you to put in weekly effort, time and resources to actually, be here. And there's a lot of teamwork, as I mentioned, and you really become responsible to your teammates to, be on your level and do the most that you can. But at the same time, we have built this schedule that you can work also while studying. You can even raise a family at the same time while studying and working. We have had students doing that and also traveling to Tallinn from different cities. So somehow it is manageable, it is doable. Our courses run from Thursdays to Saturdays, which means that basically time-wise, you can plan it so that you can work full-time. Maybe we would recommend to have reduced workload, but you can work full-time and also study in our program. All right, Sigmund, are you ready? Somewhere?
Yes.
All right,
So
cool.
if you can see it, okay, I'm in a dark alley, but it's not dark. Okay, so what I'm showing you right now is the room D306. This is the main room as a first year that you're going to be in most of the first year, and this is a room that is shared with other MA faculties or MA programs. And I'm going to take you. I cannot go in because I don't have the key, but you probably have seen a couple of pictures in the slides that we're in this room. But what I'm going to show you as we go, I want to give you a bit of a tour. So we're currently on the 3rd floor. And we're heading also what is considered a 3rd floor, but part 2. We're going to
Sigmund, I think we need to get you a new phone.
I don't know. Can you see me?
Yes,
now?
we can see you again. Yeah.
Okay. So you can see here that this here area is shared with graphic design, industrial and digital product design, and interaction design. So let's touch you there. So graphic design program. And then...
Yeah, that's amazing about that guy. You see all those other creatives around you.
Yeah, it is said that your world is your oyster. Well, Eka is going to be your oyster of inspiration. And here you can see Tanel, who is behind you, in our own room C306. All right, now back to you, Tanel.
All right, thank you, Sigmund. Let's look at the curriculum for a bit as well, just a bit. All the subjects are up there on our website, so you can go and read about them a bit more. But basically, we have put quite a lot of efforts into actually, practicing what we preach. So the program has been designed. It has been designed as a journey for you to go through as a student. And we have designed the studies to take place over 4 semesters in 2 years, as master programs usually do. So the first year, what you do is you kind of develop your designer mindset and skills, the kind of basics, build the foundations. And then the second year, then you actually take on a bit more advanced topics. You kind of deal with social innovation and things like that. And you finish by kind of figuring out what kind of designer you actually want to be once you grow up. So the very beginning, the first year, the first semesters are called Empathize and Build. They actually follow the logic of a design process, more or less. So the first semester, you will be focusing on learning to building empathy, asking the right questions, just making design research and kind of understanding the kind of questioning part of design. And the second semester, which we have titled Build, this is the time where you will actually learn to think by doing mostly. So you'll be building interactive, tangible objects. You will be designing mobile applications from the emotional standpoint of humans. You will be working with the industry partner to build some kind of digital product together with them. So basically, it's about thinking by doing. And then in the second year, there are 2 semesters called Reflect and Thrive. So during the Reflect semester, we will be working with problems such as social innovation, designing for emerging themes. And recently the emerging theme has been AI, but it also has been climate change. It has also been about geopolitics in Europe. So the topics change. And then the 4th semester is mostly meant for doing your degree project. And these are just the courses that are offered by our program, IxD.MA. Like we have shown you, there are other programs in ECA, a lot of them, other subjects, and you can kind of put together your learning journey and also pick from other subjects as well that you find interesting. All right, but this actually is more or less the last slide that I have to show you. So our applications will be starting in February. So you will have still a few days left. Estonian applicants can apply through the SAIS system. Our international applicants can apply with the Dream Apply system. If you still have any questions, then we'll be doing the questions and answers part momentarily. So now we can actually switch over to our students. But before we do that, Sigmund, is there anything you want to show us already?
All right, so one last thing I will show, which is just to also give it a small finale. I'm going to try to get outside. Hopefully I'm able to.
Oh, it's going to be freezing out there.
I had worse. So, I don't know if you can see, but this is Talent and Snow. And this is where you'll be, basically, which is quite, honestly, very, very beautiful. For me, because I was a student myself, graduated 2023, it was one of the places where, you would come up and then you would just sit down and then contemplate, and just helps you to zone out, to get inspired, to calm down as well. So whenever you're here, I encourage you to check it out. But yeah, with that, I'll end my own stream, and then we'll be back with you, Tanel.
All right, thank you. So, Team 2025, are you ready?
Hey, can you all hear me?
Yes. Oh, thank you.
Okay, perfect. I have to say instantly sorry because I'm home with my kids and I might be running here and there, but I really wanted to be here and share my perspective. So, okay, I will start sharing my screen so you don't have to look at my face. Oops. Let me see.
Nice.
Oops. I don't know. Can you see my screen? Can you see my lovely presentation?
Yes.
Okay, I will put a full screen. So, my name is Carol, and I just joined in September. And listening to Tanel, I was just nodding and kind of agreeing, because whatever he was saying about the individuality and having mentors, quite a lot of attention on individuals. I just agree on this, but I will get to why I love this program and why I maybe even decided to join or apply myself last year. So, Carol, who? I made my BA in business, but ended up working as a personal trainer, so not really utilizing my degree. I got lucky, and I also got the chance to work in IT. I was a fraud analyst, but it wasn't really for me. It was very analytical, and I always knew that I want to do something more creative. And while browsing different universities, I kind of just, I was not even looking for masters that time, and I found EKA's Open Academy, and it really just opened my eyes for the school. I was doing Photoshop, Illustrator, and there is another course, composition and color. Really recommend whenever you have time and are interested. So that actually helped me. And I also had 1 year like a micro degree in web design. So that all helped me to land work in marketing agency. I was working as a graphic designer and later also as a web designer. But maybe I'm picky, but it was not exactly what I expected, or kind of, it was like a conveyor, one another kind of project. And I didn't really feel like I can be really strategic on my work. So I quit that and I created a human. Now I'm home with my kids and also studying. And my future is unknown. But I knew that if I'm on maternity leave, I want to grow myself and I want to do something for myself as well, just not to get lost. And I'm just very lucky that I found this program for myself. Like Tanel already said, just to kind of nod and kind of confirm that this is reality. It's a very practical program. We have real clients and real cases and real problems to solve. It's not just lectures. And I find that I'm learning the best when I'm doing. So this just is amazing. Also, amazing group of people comes together. We only have 4, if I'm not mistaken, 4 Estonians in our group, total of 12. So it just shows like the amount of maybe the diversity in our group. And I'm just honored that I can be part of it. You will expand your toolbox, not only as like the design skills, but I would say I am thinking more critically. We really have almost every week there is a new presentation, so your presentation skills will grow, and of course, like communicating with different people from different backgrounds. The program, I would say, is very intense, and I would just later show you one kind of project that we put together in 6 weeks. So you will get the understanding of how intense it is. But just to calm you that I have a baby who is 1 year old and I managed it. So nothing to be afraid of. It's intense in the best way possible. And I really like how our principal was saying in our first day of our studies or our school day. She named it a boutique university, and I would say it's in the best way possible boutique university. It's not like in a fancy boutique, but it's a humble boutique, and boutique in its kind of closeness, and it's just a small and nice university. So really quickly, because we have limited time, I will walk you through our first challenge that we faced. Sigmund and Quinn were our mentors in this course, and we had to foster Tallinners living heritage. So it's quite a lot when you first kind of get the task, like, okay, what is heritage? Who is a Tallinner? And what means fostering exactly? So in 6 weeks, we did interviews on a street near Baltia. We just went, talked with people. It's also like, I think, amazing how you are put like or taken out of your box and you just have to go and talk and just experience. We went, put together the, let's say, the data that we collected, understanding. Started with prototyping, first low 5 and high 5. and also managed to put the video together with video storytelling class. And yeah, the main, I think, takeaway was that we tested, improved, and this all in 6 weeks. This is something that we had to do, but I think this is Team Canvas. I think I want to do this in every kind of new team that I have to work together with. It's another just a tool that was given to us. And it's very nice. Kind of you take a 1 hour and just get together with your team and put together the common goals, the fears, or your strengths, everything in one kind of piece of paper. And you just share your expectations and yeah, just understand each other and your what you want to get out of it, basically. This is us interviewing people. This was the first round of interviews, and like you see, there's Baltiam, and yeah, we managed five people in I think 1.5 hours or so. No, sorry, in 2.5 hours. So it was intense and but amazing as well. I would never go to street, but you know, approaching people with the agenda like, hey, I'm a student in ECA, everybody's like, okay, yeah, let's talk. Like, let's hear you out. What we learned from people was that, so we are fostering Tallinners' living heritage. We understood that people are very disconnected with nature. They kind of the well-being overall is decreasing to do that. And also that species are dying out, or everything is declining slowly, but at the same time in very fast speed. So we put ourselves task to bring Tallinners back together with nature, or at least try to. So we did a paper prototype. We tested out in a classroom, like you see here, Quinn and my amazing teammates, Avi and Faruk. And after that testing, we kind of had the framework what we wanted to build, and we named it SLOP, so Secret Life of Plants. I would just very quickly click through it. It's a gamified experience when you just walk on a street and you want to learn more about the plants or want to learn more about the nature. You can just approach a plant and basically have a chat with the plant. So we reached harilik päev, Peter here. Let's quickly chat with Peter. Are you native to Estonia? So yeah, just facts and basic knowledge. And important part here was that we don't want to overwhelm people. And we wanted to kind of test their knowledge as well at the end of it. So we built also a quiz that you can chat with plants and then just take true or false questions that you can collect points with, and later be also awarded with either like a meal coupon or cinema ticket, whatever. But yeah, this was something that we put together with within 6 weeks. And after digital prototype, we went again out, tested it, learned, and it's not about the product itself or the game, but it's more about learning the process and learning and testing and yeah, like I would say just kind of testing, having fun also while doing it. So yeah, I thank you. And my question to you maybe, who is ready to unlock new ways of thinking? Yeah, that's me. Thank you, Sigmund. Thank you, Tanel. I guess now it's Hanna's turn to also talk a little bit of her experience. Thank you. And if you have any questions at the end, I will be staying here if the little one allows.
Okay, hi. Can you hear me and see my screen?
Yes. And yes.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to be taking over from Carol now. I'm also a Team 2025 student right now. And this is my semester. About me as well, my name is Hanna. I am a Tallinn local, and my journey also wasn't really product design, etc. But for some reason back then, I opted for the more safer and like pragmatic at that time option of computer science. So I moved to Tartu, did my bachelor's in 3 years there. And then now, this spring, after graduating, I moved back to Tallinn, and thank God I am now continuing my design journey here. So yeah, you already heard about Carol's introduction to interaction design project, but I also wanted to show you my own project and our other projects from this semester as well, just so you get a general overview of what we've been doing throughout the whole semester. So you know that this project was about fostering Tallinners' living heritage, but what was interesting for this project, like Carol said, it wasn't about the product that you create, it was about the experience, and it was about the learning process. So as you can see, my team solution of like this wish tree kind of installation that would be like an archive for community heritage. This was more of a physical solution. Completely different from Carol's, which was a very, very polished digital design. And this was so interesting that we didn't have like limitations in this course. I felt like it was so there was so much room for interpretation. If you wanted to do something physical, something digital, basically it didn't matter. It was a great entry point for us in this program to really get accustomed to this whole process and just design thinking. So it was a really nice beginning. Then we also then continued with a very small project of visual interaction design. It wasn't one of the main projects, but I wanted to include this because it was interesting. Tanel did mention that they're not teaching the the tools here; they're teaching the thinking. But this was something that I really felt like was necessary in just the first semester. This was the one actual time where we took time to learn the tools. Actually learn something that I didn't know even that I needed, the components in Figma, something with the frames, etc. It was really useful anyways for me. Yeah, the project was just like familiarizing ourselves with Figma, analyzing the design of one app or website that we used and recreating it, and then redesigning based on the things that we found out. My project was about an Estonian gym map of my fitness. I found some things in layout and visual hierarchy that I wanted to improve, and then I made the tweaks, and that was my project. Small project, but very, very useful, I think. But the main project in our semester was actually service design. This was the largest project. I think I forgot how many weeks already. It was such a long project. It was probably 9. I think, no, yes, 9, probably 9. Anyways, the project was to identify ways of helping homeowners navigate the extremely complicated journey of renovating their heritage-protected home. Sorry for reading it from the slides. But it was an interesting project because this was with a real client. So I'm kind of repeating this same idea already that both Carol and Tanel have said, but this is actually something that we ourselves experienced from the first semester now of working with real people and real clients. We had the amazing opportunity to work together with the Heritage Board and also the Ministry of Climate in this project, so this was awesome. And yeah, you can also see my project solution of basically an archive of already completed renovation experience stories, so that new home owners who are inexperienced in home renovation, they could come here and just filter these different already completed renovation stories to find the most relevant information for them, and potentially even connect with the homeowners who have completed renovations to create more of a community feeling. It was a really difficult project to start. It took a lot of research to really understand all of the existing materials that the homeowners were working with right now, the current situation. But basically from the middle, it turned out to be my favorite project. It was really interesting, and I learned really a lot of new things from it. We followed the double diamond design method, which was a design process, which really consists of a lot of different tasks. So I enjoyed working with many different hats in this project. So I learned a lot of different methods, but at the same time, it was made in a lot of different team formations as well. So I learned a lot about myself as well. How can I work in a large team, a small team, and also individually? So it was a lot to do, but it was a lot of interesting things that we learned as well. And then just some general things. We didn't only work, we actually hung out with each other as well. You have some pictures of our activities this semester. And like you have already heard, the class is very small. The amount of people who we have here is really small. The 12 people in our class, you are going to be hanging out with them in school. Week after week, you're going to be struggling with the same things and working together and just bonding over everything. And you just inevitably do get close with these people if you spend so much of this really specific time together. So this happened with us as well. I do believe that we have grown really close here during just this one semester. From the beginning of the semester, we have been going out, like you can see, chasing the aurora borealis, the northern lights. People were going out to the seaside to take the pictures of it. We were celebrating birthdays, going to dinner after the service design final presentations, looking at new restaurants. We went to bingo night, and these are just from my perspective, the things that I went to or heard of more, but there were a lot of different things as well, like even more that I haven't shown here. So it's been a really nice semester, and I'm looking forward to the next one as well. And for my last slide, dogs. We have had a few dogs in our classrooms as well. The first dog is from the beginning of the year party, and it was a really nice dog. And it turned out that the same dog was partaking in my elective course in the right picture as well. So I got a chance to be with that dog basically every week for some time. And then that dog in the middle is actually Carol's dog, who was participating in our one class just like in December or something. And yeah, I saw 2 dogs in my classrooms and many more dogs in our corridors as well. And I hope that there's even more dog sightings in our classrooms next semesters. So yeah, I think that's it from me right now. This was my semester. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much,
Thank you so
Carol
much.
and Hanna. There's actually an Instagram account called Dogs in ECA. I don't think it's updating anymore, but yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah.
We should reinstate that.
Yep. All right. And yes, we sometimes do teach programs and apps as well. And we only do so because our students have been requesting it so much. And we take your feedback very seriously. But all right, Janeli, are you here?
I am here. So hi everybody, my name is Janeli. I don't have slides, so you do have to look at my face. And I am an alumni of this master's program. I graduated last year in June. So a bit about me. Currently, I work as a product designer in an IoT company. Can you hear me, by the way? I just started yapping. Perfect. Then I will continue yapping. Yeah, so I work as a product designer, and even more excitingly, I think, starting soon, I will also start teaching here at the Estonian Academy of Arts. Although not in this master's program, but in bachelor's program. But yeah, it's a bit surreal for me because 9 months ago I was defending my thesis here. 3 years ago or 2 years ago I wasn't even sure if design is for me, and now back at Tech I am once again teaching. So clearly I liked my time in Estonian Academy of Arts, not in a rush to leave here. But yeah, I will share a bit about my experience and how that changed my outlook about design and in general. And as also Carol mentioned something, it's very funny. I didn't know what Tanel is gonna talk about, but I feel like I'm gonna repeat him a lot. But that's just, a proof of fact that what he said is true. The alumni are confirming this. So yeah, before starting this master's program, I had not studied design in university. My professional background before design was in film industry. But what I did have is I was a self-taught designer. I already was working as a designer, so I did have a little bit of design experience. I was actually working in the same company as Sigmund over there. So that's where I heard about the program. And when I joined IxD.MA, because I had a little bit of design background already, then I didn't really come with expectation about polishing my technical skills. So just, grinding Figma or something. And for that, I think you have other courses or other programs. But my goal was mainly about developing a stronger designer mentality, coming from a generalist view and understanding who I want to be as a designer, what is my sort of philosophy. And that's why I joined IxD.MA. And also having more courage to experiment and make mistakes, because it's if you start working, you don't really have that opportunity as much. You just have to create programs, projects. So yeah, I wanted to have this area where I can just test and play around and get the confidence. So I came with a fairly clear agenda of what I want to achieve here, and I think that's really important if you join this program. Whether you have a design background or not doesn't matter as much as what you want to get out of it, because these 2 years, they are going to be intense. There's a lot going to happen. You won't have too much hand-holding, which is the point of it, but you have a lot of opportunities. So it's good for you to know what's your Northern Star where you want to guide yourself through these studies. In a more general way, again, you don't have to have like an exact plan, but it's good to know what you're looking for. And if you don't know it exactly, worry not, because the mentors also help you reflect back on it. I remember Tanel asked me multiple times what's my interests, and I said I don't know, and he slowly nudged that it seems like you're into behavioral design, seems like you're using that a lot in your projects, and he was correct. I ended up doing my master thesis on behavioral design. So yeah, I think important is to come in with a curious mind and eagerness to experiment, and then you will have a great time there. And my experience in the program, I would say roughly there are two sides. There is the very strategical, analytical side, service design, different systems thinking, frameworks, which help you get this know-how how to justify your design decisions and understand design. And then there's this other side, courses that are much more about embodied and exploratory expressions. So speculative design and emotional design, working with intuition, more about question asking than problem solving. And I think this tension is extremely valuable, because I think most designers have this temptation to be either more one side or the other. I know I was more on the analytical, I still am, but I was even more on the analytical side. And then you get into some sort of mental models that, it's good to provoke them every once in a while. And this program really pushed me between those two modes, and the embodied part was much more hard for me, but because it's very encouraged to experiment, then it was also a good way to get this confidence to use more experimental and embodied research methods that I now am able to use still. And the highlight for me definitely in these studies was the project in Chile, which was a very experimental, embodied approach. It was post-human design workshop, working with saved refugee dogs, with emotional traumas, how to design for someone who's not going to tell what they want, but are the most honest testers. So it was a great project. And another topic, another very strong point or experience, I think, is the people that you work with, that you learn from, and the projects. As mentioned, we have a lot of industry partners, so you get the experience of working with real clients and the joys and frustrations that come with it. So when I was studying, we had one service design project with the National Library of Estonia. Then we also had, I think it was digital innovation course where we worked with startups. So yeah, you get a lot of experience. You jump into these deep waters and you just have to figure out how to swim out of it. And that's, again, a very important designerly skill to say that I don't know what you're talking about, but I will figure it out and we will solve this. So you get this a lot here. And another really good part is that I think it's a very strong suit that most of the mentors aren't full-time academics. They're specialists in the area. So first, you get a very fresh perspective of the people who actually are actively working and improving themselves. But secondly, because it's a small course, it's a very tight community. The people that are your mentors, they're just not going to disappear when the course ends. It's very easy to keep in touch with them. And it's so important, I believe, as a novice designer to surround yourself with mentors who can help you learn and grow. I try to max out on that capital. So, for instance, for me, after one workshop, I reached out to the facilitator because I really loved her workflow. She's a UK behavioral designer with 20 years of experience under her belt. Absolutely genius of a woman. And that position of me reaching out and just being like, I really enjoyed your workshop, turned into her being my master's thesis supervisor. And she's an amazing behavioral designer. I think she pushed me much further than I would have been able to go without her in the most positive way again. And I think the way she helped me figure out how to work and what I want is also now part of the reason why I'm coming back to ECA and starting to also teach now. So yeah, you get this opportunity to surround yourself with amazing people, mentors, and I'm still in touch with her. Like when I was trying to figure out how to do my course, she still mentored me, even though she doesn't have to anymore. But designers are amazing. You reach out to them and they will stay in your life and help you throughout it. So yeah, you can get a lot of opportunities here. And yeah, the people that you also will have on your course most likely are going to be absolutely wonderful. Again, because people come from very different backgrounds, you get this very diverse bunch of people. And also ECA cultivates this very open communication and connection between different departments. So you don't only hang out with the design people, you also learn from other areas. I got really integrated into animation department, so just amazing guys there as well. So yeah, to conclude this, if I would start my course here again, which I would love to do because as you can see, I enjoyed my time. Clearly not in a rush to leave ECA. I would ask myself what I want to get out of this. What sort of designer am I trying to become, or what am I trying to learn through it? Yeah, technical skills, just purely Figma. That's not the main concentration here. If you're interested in like more technical stuff, then yeah, maybe that's not. Maybe you get that less here. But this broader design approach to figure out what is your niche, what you want to do as a designer, what connects with you, what aligns with you. This is really the focus. It gives you an amazing ground and opportunity to figure out what you want to do as a designer, because when I came in here, I didn't know. And for me, it really helped me clarify what my goals are, what I want to do. So if you do end up here, then my biggest advice would be that be curious, be reflective, and don't be afraid to reach out to people. And thank you.
Beautiful, Janeli. Thank you so much. Nice. All right, but we have around 20 minutes still to go in our schedule. So we would be now very happy to hear your questions, thoughts. You also sent us a few already when you were signing up for the call, so we can answer those. But you can also, either raise your hands, speak up, or you can also write them in the Zoom in the chats, and we will give our best to try to answer them. Yes. Let's maybe start with the chat one. Yes, it's a good question. So in a way, we don't want to spoil too many details, right? So the question is that, can we tell you about the admission assignments and some examples of it? No, we can't. But in a way, what we're going to ask you to do is to solve a small design brief in 2 hours. That's the task. With whatever resources you have around you, we just want to see how you approach the task. There is really no way of doing it right or wrong. We just want to see how you do it, basically, how you approach it. That's it. That's, I think, all you need to know. We will share more details how to prepare and all of that as well once you are in that admission pipeline. Right, maybe you can take turns.
Yeah, but I think this would be able to answer it. And what system to apply if you're Estonian national but didn't study in Estonia?
Yeah, okay. That's a good one. Maybe then Dream Apply would be the or actually, if you're as Estonian national, then why they're using this size system is that they takes your previous education, right? So it's a very, very good question, actually. It's a very technical question. I don't have the correct answer. So maybe sending an email to admissions@tartu.ee, they will get you back in maximum few days to let you know the answer. Just to be sure.
Yep. So next question from Samira. I'm from an architectural background, but I've shifted to UX designer recently. I'd love to know about career options after graduating, especially in Estonia and across Europe. Are there support systems to help students find work in the future? Well, as Tanel has mentioned as well through the slides and through our talk, is that you're going to, as you go through the program, you're going to start finding bit by bit your identity as a designer. And then you're going to, as you go, you're going to try to find where you would fit best, where you would like to explore your design career. And there, as I would say, even if you're reading the news right now, or you're seeing a lot of FOMO in that sense about design going away, it's not going away. And that's the beauty about the program, is that how it is being provided is that design is dependent on a tool, but what we're providing, or what we're actually advocating, is that design is not the tool, but rather your attitude, your thinking, your doing, and it goes across all aspects of design. So you're absolutely going to be to find work after graduating, and it's up to you to decide where do you want to dive in, and then there. We are provided with some career opportunities that we are sharing with you as well, so that you could apply, and then you could actually continue from there. So that's, I think, one of the things that we could mention right now. I don't know. Do you have any?
Yeah, I'm thinking. I also asked about the career opportunities. So I haven't stalked on our alumni LinkedIn in recent months, but it's around 90 to 1, not let's say 100, it hasn't been 100, but it's over 90% that our students are at our alumni are working as professionals in the design area somehow. So I would say that people who end up working as designers is very high, and they all end up working.
Yeah.
And regarding the placement, well, it's a statistic from the US, but I think it also applies somewhat to Europe, is that 80% of the job employment offers are given not on job portals, not on LinkedIn, but they go through networks, through people. And this is something that we are kind of trying to give you as well in this program. Like Janeli told, they kind of built this network of designers and people, and it's quite likely that you might find an opportunity through that network for working. ECA does not have like an official internship program as of now. We are working on it actively. It might be that it is existing in 2 years already. But what we do provide is well, the Erasmus program, but you might know that helps us to travel around Europe and the world. It also has an internship program, which means that you can go abroad from Estonia and you will actually be paid for doing so. So basically, there are some helping systems to help you get started after graduation. Yeah. But most of our students, not most, but a lot of our students actually, they switch their positions, careers already while studying. And we have actually started vouching against it because people switch places and they get promoted so fast that they don't have time for school anymore. So we don't really want that to happen.
Yeah. And also, I would add just one small thing is that because we are doing collaboration with the industries, it's a great opportunity as well to take in that responsibility as if you're actually working in an agency, then you're working with an actual client, and then that client might hire you or might, for example, connect with you to actually do further projects as well. So it's a great opportunity to take in each course that you're having as an opportunity to get hired. And you'll see a difference. I'm saying this from my experience as well, personal experience. I remember with digital portfolio. But anyway, that's another subject.
Right. So the next question: how long are school days? Carol, do you want to take it? Are you here?
Sure. Yeah, how long? We have from Thursday to Saturday. And I guess it depends on the course list or what is on hands at that moment. But yeah, be ready to be from Thursday 2 p.m. to 9, and Friday the same. And Saturday is from 10 to 4, if I'm not mistaken. So approximately these are the hours. And how I'm doing is I'm also making like a Sunday as my individual kind of working day that I can keep my kid with my partner, and I can kind of focus on whatever I have to do within for the next week. So usually, for Sundays, I'm preparing for the next week. Mm-hmm. That's how kind of it works for me. But you will figure out yourself if maybe your schedule works better in weekdays. But so be ready from Thursday to Sunday, basically.
Yes, and as Carol mentioned, that these are the times that we kind of expect you to take to school. What times exactly, it doesn't mean that you're going to be in school every Thursday and Friday from 2 to 9, but it means that during that time is the period when the mentor is going to be here and going to be working with you. Sometimes it's like for 1 hour, another maybe course is for 6 hours. So it kind of depends on the course as well, and the mentors. And there is a lot of teamwork, and when you work with your team and when you do independent work, how much you actually do of your independent work and teamwork, that's kind of up to you actually. So you kind of, it's the like I told you, it's the opportunity that we're giving you, and it's your kind of responsibility to kind of make your own schedule around that opportunity. So there's a lot of flexibility built in the system.
I texted in the chat as well, so if anyone wants to have it in writing, it's maybe better experience. Then you can be more precise with this. Thank you.
All right. Next question is, love that there are so many students from different cultures in the course. Any specific tips specifically for international students to make sure we make the most of this course? Well, I mean, you're going to be, first, you took a great step to come to Estonia, somewhere new for you. So if you've done that, then it shows that you have, say, the courage to actually go anywhere new. So that's the first tip that you've built for yourself. Then the second tip is that here, communicate a lot, go out. You're going to be in a team, and I think with most first course intro to IxD, it often is about getting familiar with talent, getting familiar with the environment, getting familiar with who you're going to be talking to, who you're going to be working with, and so on. So take that opportunity to build the relationship with your teammates, with your mentors. Go out. This is a great opportunity to also check in ECA. There are other departments, other students as well, where the whole university is sort of an inspiration for you. So talking to people, trying to check what they're doing, trying to maybe sit down and then observe, notes, sketching, go out. You could grab some coffee with your teammates, discuss, work together somewhere else. The whole point is about building a relationship, building a connection, because you're far away from your home, and you're in a new place where everyone are seeking, a common goal is to finding their identity as a designer, building their identity as a designer, and what a nice way to do it together. So a good tip is to communicate, talk, explore. You've done the first step, which is the courageous step to actually go out of your comfort zone and be somewhere new with new people. So that is one tip that I would give as an international student.
I also wanted to add from the experiences of my teammates from Team 2025 who are international students. They have said that they really enjoy living in the dormitory. So ECA does have a dormitory, and you can apply there to rent a room or just a spot. So they have said that they have just found a lot of new connections there, and the student life is so much more alive there, in opposed to when you're living in just an apartment. So that's something that our teammates have said.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll take the next one then. So there was a question about financial support, and thank you, Maria, also from ECA, for answering that. There is maybe one option that's not listed on our website is, and what I have seen our students doing is that they have got some kind of stipends to study here from their home countries, from their embassies. So this is apparently also an option, and maybe worth looking into if there's something like that available in your region, in your area. Yep. So the next question was about statistics. How many students have graduated the program in average? Well, this is something that we can actually be quite proud of. In the recent years, we did have the COVID period, which messed up things considerably. But since then, we actually have a dropout rate of 0, which means that when 12 students start the studies, then 12 students also finish the studies. So so basically more or less everyone graduates. Maybe not in 2 years. Some people prolong the studies. They go for exchange studies, for example. It's an opportunity we vouch for. So once you come here, you can go anywhere in Europe for a semester, for 2 semesters. So we have handpicked some very nice schools where you can go and apply for, or maybe spend the winter in some place more warmer. Yeah, but also an opportunity. But yeah, more or less everyone graduates. I can even say that everyone.
Yeah. All right. So question is, what distinguishes a strong portfolio for this program? Roughly how many projects does a strong portfolio usually include? Well, if we're taking from what we have discussed, then you could probably understand that what we're looking for is the thinking part. And we're looking for your process. We're looking for how you have understood a subject, how you got uncomfortable, and how you were able to identify problems. So it is the process that you often see in the when designing. But really, what we're trying to understand, and what Tanel has mentioned as well, is that in this program you're trying to build your voice. You're trying to build your own opinion, and what we want to see is your opinion about this project as you went through the entire this entire project that you've built, that you've understood, that you've analyzed. Having that, at least for me, showcases how willing the willingness that you have to want to understand the problem at hand, wanting to solve the actual problem, and wanting to provide value to the environment, value to the system, to the person in front of you, or to yourself as well. So it's really not about the number of work, but the quality of the work that we're after. But if you're actually looking for a number, then the minimum would be three works. I think that is kind of an ideal number, but it's up to you. The most important part, at least for me, if I'm looking at a portfolio, is what is the value that you're bringing, and how have you got to that point, got to this conclusion, and then what is your opinion on it, and show me your thinking in your work. That's my opinion. What about you?
Yeah, it's a very good reply. I think we have this very limited window to actually get to know you, to understand if our program is a good fit for you and if you are a good fit for our program. So we are always trying to look at it from both perspectives. And like Sigmund mentioned, the portfolio, or we even call it the display of previous experiences, because we know that many of you are not designers or creatives from Beresburg, so you don't necessarily have a portfolio. We just then want to see, what stuff have you been working on and how. So it's not a CV, but basically want to see how you've been working on your stuff before. So that's one of the ways how we can actually understand, or try to understand, how do you think and how do you work, how do you solve problems. Yeah. Next up is a very good question. It's maybe a bit more philosophical, methodological. Maybe Janeli and Sigmund, you can help me also in the reply, but I'm going to read it out loud. You spoke about interaction as something that structures behavior and experience. I'm interested in the moment when interaction goes beyond usability or problem solving. What is the difference between user experience design and interaction design? I think there are many different questions here, actually, and
on top of each other.
On top of each other.
Well, I can start. One thing that, when you ask this question, and what really immediately connected with me, is the fact that when we're talking about user experience, I think the general discussions very often go into this very problem-solving mentality and this very A to B mentality. And this is something that I feel interaction design, this program really does differently. We're a lot into asking the questions and trying to figure out how this affects not only humans, but the systems, the whole post-human aspect again. So I feel like if your goal is to understand things beyond usability, then this does match very well, because here again, experimenting and trying to figure out what your role as a designer is going to be, not only on your users, not only on this business aspect, which also is a discussion point, but on a more structural level or more philosophical level, that is a very strong discussion point all the time, what our role is as a designer, how we affect the world. So this question of usability and sort of like just the heuristics and patterns, that's not really in the focus here. It is again covered because this is a very intense curricula. But I would say the sort of general gist of it still goes to understanding the interactions between different elements and how it affects and yeah, just understanding the structures, if that answers your question.
Yeah, and I would also add that one thing that we've mentioned, that our method of teaching is practical and speculative. And in speculative, you're going to be seeing not problem solving, but rather problem finding. And so when it comes to designing, you're often also not, first you have to think, and one thing that Tanel has mentioned is the impact as designers we have on the world while we're designing. And it has some form of a domino effect. And if you're so aware of everything, it's going to be very confusing to you. But here comes your responsibility to actually see beyond just those usability, see beyond the problem solving, is actually seeing if this design, for example, creates this phenomenon, then I'm going to have a what if, what's going to happen afterwards. And you're going to sometimes look into the future of things and the possibilities and the probabilities, and you're going to ask not how might we, but you're going to ask, well, what if what if this happens, what if that happens? And interaction design, with the 5 levels of it, sometimes you're going to see all 5 in one, and you're going to go in and try to understand everything. And I want to say one thing, and kind of holding and having this attitude of discovery and attitude of not being wrong, but have the willingness to know that maybe I'm wrong and I want to discover and want to understand even further. If you go with that mentality, then you'll find that interaction design is beyond just UX and wanting to solve specific for app or something.
Yep. So yeah, I think very, very well answered. I guess we are not really, problem solving is a very big thing in design, but I'd like to say that we are more opportunity creating here rather than problem solving. That's a, same thing, but not. All right, there was a question about numbers, general class size, and the statistics around acceptance rates. So class size, we always take 12 students. That's the magic number. Many reasons. One of them being that lots of teamwork and just 12 people, you can divide it into so different ways into groups of people. And also it's like a very manageable size to have in a classroom and to kind of build you up as a team, as students have been saying. Acceptance rates. It's well, it depends on how many of you are going to be applying. Usually it's every 5th, every 4th person gets applied. So you can do the math, reverse math here about our admission rates. It sits around there, plus minus 0.5, 0.6. Yeah. All right. Are there any more questions in the chat? Okay, so yeah, we had a few more questions from the signups, so I can quickly just go over them. Does ECO collaborate with other education institutions, universities? I hope we have answered that already. Yes, a lot. We are very, very networked as a university. What documents do we require for admission? CV, portfolio or display of previous experiences, and the motivation letter. I think the last one is the most important one because this is where you can actually write and introduce yourself. And we kindly ask you to write it by yourself because this is our, such a big opportunity to get to know you, how you think, who you are. and you can't get wrong with the letter, so there's really no reason to outsource it. So we have some questions that help you prepare for the letter on our website. Just go and answer those questions however you feel like it, and that's really the best way to get in. If you let the machine do it, then maybe you come off as too generic, and then maybe we don't like you that much.
Yeah.
I guess okay, they were the portfolio questions. Workload during intense project periods. Yeah, I guess we have discussed this as well already. Can the course be done part-time? No. Yeah. No. Because there are many reasons. Well, we could in theory, but in practice, maybe something that we haven't really discussed today yet, but that's I think should be quite obvious, is that you're going to be learning from your mentors, but you're also going to be learning a lot from your teammates, and you're also going to be teaching a lot to your teammates. So it kind of requires you to be present with your teammates, and that kind of requires you to just be present. So you cannot really get the full experience studying here part-time. You will miss out on so much. So if you're a freelancer in Germany, would like to know if you move to Estonia in the future, can you continue working with your clients and manage their studies? Yeah, I think this is how majority of our international students do. Well, those of them who are working as freelancers, they continue working as freelancers. Yeah. And does the student visa allow? It has so far.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. But it's good to create some clarity around it, of course.
Just make sure to understand from tax perspective what you need to do. Other than that, you're fine.
Yep. So what do we look for in your students? Is a coding degree required? So do you want to spoil the beans? What are we looking for?
What do you look for in your students? Is a coding degree required for ECA interaction design? No. Yeah, I think that's the simplest answer.
Yeah. What do we look for? We cannot, spit it out for you.
Yeah. It will ruin the fun in a way.
But also I think Janeli, explained it very nicely in her talk what we're looking for. So can we have a semester break during course as an international student? Yes, we actually have quite a few breaks. We have a 1 week official, well, it's called the workshop week, but it's more or less a break in our program in the middle of the semester. And so also during the winter, there's a quite long break. So our studies wrap up by Christmas and kick off again in February. So there's actually a month and a half. So you can go back home, get your vitamin D levels back up, and then return to Estonia to work in the spring. A lot of our students also use that opportunity to travel around Europe who are from further away. Is there something else? Scholarships. Oh yeah, the tuition fee. Yeah, I just discovered as well today that there's some confusion. So it's 3 200s and 4 200 is the admission fee. So it's, if you divide it up by months in the year, that's actually quite cheap to study here. How do we position ourselves between conceptual research and real application? I guess we also talked about that quite a lot. So yeah, we have both, and both are needed to grow and mature.
Does the program teach in a practical sense using software, or is it more hands-on? Well, it's more hands-on, but we do occasionally have software. As Hanna provided, we do have a couple of course around certain software, but it's and as Tanel has mentioned, we're not focused on teaching software, but out of comments and reviews from students, they really wanted to understand, so we've pushed that more. But yeah.
And I think the next question that's in the Slack chat, it's in the chat, kind of builds on that. So if software isn't taught directly, what are the industry standards expected for deliverables are expected to arrive with a high proficiency in tools like Figma or Code? Or is the final solution judged on the concept alone? Depends on the course, I would say. So if it's a visual design course, then of course we expect you to develop, but I would say that we are mostly curious about your development and not the outcome. And this is, you know, it's still a creative field, and then how can you actually judge someone's creativity? It's very hard to measure that. So we don't really give out too many grades in the program. A few subjects are graded, judged, but we are more firm believers of giving feedback, and you will be getting a lot of feedback in the program. Yep, and is there something else? So I think we can start wrapping up. Lots of questions this year. I'm very happy. Is there something else? Yeah, maybe we should leave this question as the final one. I think you touched upon it a little as well. I'm asking about the market and is there a future for designers?
Well, that's a long topic, but long answer short, yes. Right now there's a lot of hype. Not right now, it's been for a couple of years now, a lot of hype around AI, and we've been pushing AI as well with our program. But one thing that we need to clarify is that AI is not at the top. At the top of it is our thinking, and at the top of it is our reasoning, and the top of it is how we do things, how we put these Legos together, which AI won't be able to do. It's, again, at the end of the day, it's a tool, and the market still needs our brains, still needs our devotion, it still needs our drive. And it still needs our own opinion and our own way of thinking and doing. So I don't see the future of designers going away anytime soon, but that doesn't mean that you just sit around and not do anything. It's a daily thing that you do that in our program that we're going to be working together for you to, at the end of the program with your master's thesis, you're going to have an opinion, you're going to have your voice, and you're going to go out and then going to showcase that voice with the projects, with your clients, with everyone. So I don't think there's any worries around that.
Yeah. Let's say if AI is a tool, then, if AI is, let's say, a kitchen appliance, then someone still needs to provide the recipe and someone still needs to be the chef. So you as a designer will do that. You will be the chef, and you will be using different AI tools to actually, make your recipe. And I think there was a very nice meme that, in order for AI to replace designers, then we would need to have clients who really know what they want to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. So yeah, we are safe. We are very safe, and we're just quite a lot more empowered. And maybe we also need to focus a lot more on what we have been explaining. We have to be more focused on actually coming up with the recipe for the process, and a bit less on actually preparing the ingredients. And this is exactly what we're doing in the program. All right, but looks like that's it with the questions. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. We will be also uploading this video on our YouTube channel in a few days. So you can rewatch if you want to. And if you have more questions, then you can write to us, IxD@artun.ee. Lots of stuff also on our website, IxD.MA. And yeah, I hope to see you all very soon.
Yes, see you all very soon. Thank you for joining.
Yep. Take care.
Ciao.
Ciao. Nice.